Hi guys, it's Carrie with Rockin G Farm. Well, today on the farm, my husband helped me because I was headed out to spend some time with the girls at church. And so what he did for me, he actually planted my popcorn drift roses. So I am so excited about that. Let me show you what he did, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to fertilize these. And then my mother also has 2 popcorn drift roses that we need to plant out at her house. So we'll be doing that today along with pruning some of her roses. I know we are late in the season, but we're gonna go ahead and do that and get all of those fertilized up. But let's turn the camera around right here, guys, and I'll show you my popcorn drift roses.
All right, folks. Miss Carrie wants me to record this. Putting that rose bush in, she wanted it centered up on that. That's center, even though it doesn't look it because the pots make it look disproportional. If I can keep the dogs out of getting underneath foot, we're going to dig this hole so we can get this in the ground.
So here are my popcorn drift roses. They did lose a lot of petals last night in the transplant, but let me show you these. It is a drift rose. It's a ground cover, and it is supposed to be a ground cover made easy. So they get 1.5 feet tall to 2.5 feet wide. Yeah, 1.5 feet high to 2 feet wide, and they want full sun, and they are good in zone 4 through 11. One reason I got this popcorn rose is because my mom loves popcorn, but the other reason is these roses smell absolutely amazing. I wish you could have saw this yesterday before it was put in the ground. Let me come over here and show you. The rose buds come out in different colors. As you can see, it kind of starts off like a little apricot-y orange right there. And then this is a spent bloom. And when they are opened, you can kind of see they have a little polka dots on them of red. And then they also come in, like, turn into yellow. So you have several different color of blooms on this one plant, and it smells amazing. I mean, I the reason I bought this plant was because of the fragrance. And then the second reason was because of the beautiful different colored blooms. And then of course, because it was a popcorn drift in honor of my mama. So we have this one right here. And then we have one on the other side of the gate. Let me show you. We just put in this fence around the garden area, and then it went back over here so that the chickens cannot get in. We were having problems with the dogs getting in, the chickens getting in, so we did this. We have a lot of construction going on, a lot of trash around, so we're gonna have to end up cleaning this up. But my other popcorn drift rose is gonna be on the other side of the gate. We put my arbor up on that, so we're gonna have one rose there and one rose there. And this one's having a little bit of an issue. He's turning a little bit yellow, so we're gonna go ahead and get the fertilizer in on him and him watered in really, really well. So this is what I care for my roses with and fertilize. It is a 3-in-1 systemic product. It gives you your fertilization, it insect control from aphids and Japanese beetles, and it also controls black spot, powdery mildew, rust, and southern blight, which we are in the south and we have a lot of humidity. So we need this to protect our roses. There are some roses that don't need this, but there are some that do, and I'd rather protect my roses than not. So what I do is I use 1 capful for 1 plant, and I feed or protect each of my roses on the property once a month. So I'm just going to kind of go around the outside of the rose. And then since I don't have my gloves on, I'm just going to use my cap to kind of get that in. Like that. And then we'll come back and water that in real well. But let's go and do this. Then I'll come back once a month and re-fertilize and protect my roses. So there we go. So we made it back over to my mother's house, and the spot where we chose to plant the popcorn drift rose bush had a crepe myrtle there for years. And our problem that we're coming into right now is trying to get the root out of there. It is several inches around, and it's kind of hard to get it out, but it's breaking after we kind of put a little force into it. It's just taking us a little bit of time. I think it probably took us about 20 or 30 minutes just to dig that hole. But as you can see here coming up, we were able to conquer the root and get the flower in the ground. Now we're moving to the front of my mom's house where her and my father have planted some knockout roses over the years. Some of those plants do have some disease and some rotten branches, and we're just going to try to make those look a little more beautiful. We're going to prune them up, and then we're going to fertilize them, and then that will be the end of our day. Always ensure that you clean your pruning supplies in between each plant or in between each diseased cut. So I had a branch in there that was diseased, and so I was cutting it out and then making sure that I had cleaned it off with some alcohol in between. Okay, that's it for the day. We spent some time pruning and planting and taking care of roses on the farm and at my mother's house. And again, guys, thanks for joining us, and make what you have beautiful.